gonna do.
20%.
So, being the eccentric guy that he is, he decides he's gonna die with some of his valuable artifacts. He apparently wants to inspire people to get out and explore. You know, like maybe once he dies, they'll find him out there and they'll find the treasure. And so he gets started
Wait.
on this plan. He goes and he
Has it
buys
real
a
life Gold
special
Roger?
box to find the
Hold on.
treasure. And so he gets started on this plan. He goes and he buys a special box and he
Hold on. This
to
is
get out and
anime.
explore of his
ゴムゴムチョガット少年だ。マンキー D. ルフィ隊長。Head ass. Bro. No way. He's the real life Gold Roger? Yo. I kind of respect it. I'm not going to lie. Yo. What's up? We got another video. He found $2 million buried in the mountains. Okay? It's by Ray William Johnson, as you can see. And it's right after that other video. If I include that in there. Yeah, let's go ahead and do it.
100,000 people
I
are
would've
about.
been-
So there's a treasure chest
Ooh.
worth about $2 million buried somewhere in the
get
mountains.
that food.
And about 300,000 people are about to try and find it. It all starts with this guy. His name's Forrest. And Forrest is
Forrest.
58 years old, living
Forrest
in New
Whitaker.
Mexico. And bro, he's kind of like a real-life Indiana Jones. He finds and trades and sells precious artifacts from around the world. He
Whoa.
actually runs a little art gallery in New Mexico.
That's kind of
But
cool.
one day in 1988, his whole life falls apart because he's diagnosed with terminal cancer. And the doctors tell him that he only has a 20% chance of living the next 3 years.
Dang.
And this really sucks for him. He doesn't know what he's gonna do.
20%?
So, being the eccentric guy that he is, he decides he's gonna die with some of his valuable artifacts. He apparently wants to inspire people to get out and explore. You know, like maybe once he dies, they'll find him out there and they'll find the treasure. And so he gets started
Wait.
on this plan. He goes and
Has
he
it
buys
real
a
life Gold
special
Roger?
box to find
Hold
the
on.
treasure. And so he gets started on this plan. He goes and he buys a special box and he
Hold on. This
to
is
get out and
anime.
explore of his
ゴムゴムチョガット少年だ。マンキー D. ルフィ隊長。Head ass. Bro. No way. He's the real life Gold Roger? Yo. I kind of respect it. I'm not going to lie. Big Forest. That's dope. He said, I'm finna die on this. I'm standing on this treasure, boy. You want my treasure? You can have it.
valuable artifacts.
I
He
left
apparently
everything I've
wants to
gathered
inspire
together
people to
right
get out
here.
and explore. You know, like maybe once he dies, they'll find him out there and they'll find the treasure. And so he gets started on this plan. He goes and he buys a special box and he fills it with $2 million worth of valuable artifacts that he's collected over the years. Like some gold nuggets, some ancient Chinese carved jade figures, an ancient gold ring, a gold
Now I kinda wanna
bracelet,
go find
stuff
it.
like that. Then he maps it all out. That he's gonna take that box into the Rocky Mountains with him, and
He's in
he'll
the
find a
Rockies?
nice place
Bet.
to lay down with it, and he'll basically just die with it, I guess. However, that doesn't actually
didn't die?
happen because he ends up getting better, and he beats the cancer. I guess it goes into remission.
Yo, he
he's
beat the
so
fish?
happy, and he's so relieved that he can keep on living. And so fast
That's so
forward
cool.
to 2010, and Forrest
Whoa.
is
Yo, he was prepared to stand on that, bro. Nah, he's real. I like Forrest. I like him. He was prepared to stand on that, bro. He said, all right, we're done? All right, bet. And then the doc was like, wait, you're good. Yo, he's real. I don't care. He's real, bro. That's a real-ass old man right there.
on living. And so fast forward to 2010, and Forrest is 80 years old now. And he's approaching
vegetable
what
juice,
might
too.
be his final years again. And so he starts thinking about his old plan again to get people out exploring and living a life of adventure like he did. And so this time he decides to hide his treasure box with $2 million worth of artifacts in it somewhere in the Rocky Mountains. And he's gonna turn it into an old-fashioned treasure hunt, thinking maybe this will inspire people to become, treasure hunters. So he hikes up into the mountains to the spot where he planned on dying all those years ago, and he buries the chest in a place that's in Yellowstone National Park. Then he writes and publishes his memoir called The Thrill of the Chase. And in it, he talks about his life, but it also includes hints and clues about where this treasure is throughout the whole book. Specifically, in a poem he wrote that he says will lead anyone to the treasure. So now,
Whoa.
the poem he wrote that he says
Yo,
will
this
lead
man
anyone
left
to
road
the treasure.
poneglyphs. Hold on, let's see if we can read it.
Specifically, in a poem he wrote.
As I've gone alone in there, and with my treasures bold, I can keep secret my secret way, and hint of riches new and old. Begin it where warm waters halt, and take it into the canyon down, Okay, so where warm waters halt. So does that mean where the water gets cold? So it's some kind of like cold current or something? Some kind of river that stops flowing? Like some kind of basin maybe? And take it down the canyon, or take it in the canyon down. Not too far, but too far to walk. Put in below the home of Brown. So it's below the dirt, and it's too far down in the canyon to walk. Okay? From there, it's no place for the meek. The end is drawing ever nigh. There'll be no paddle up your creek, just heavy loads and water high. So is it a waterfall? Heavy, like water raining down, because you can't paddle up it. But there's heavy loads and the water's high. So like the water fall because it's heavy when it falls. So maybe a waterfall. So it's by a waterfall, maybe. Oh.
Wrote that he says will lead anyone to.
If you've been looking wise and found the blaze, look quickly down your quest to cease. But tarry scant with marvel gaze, just take the chest and go in peace. Yo, I might have found it. So why is it that I must go and leave my trove for all to see? The answer I already know. I've done it tired, and now I'm weak. So hear me all and listen good. Your effort will be worth the gold. If you are brave and in the wood, I give you title to the gold. Yo, hey, I'm gonna go find it. No, I'm fine. Somebody already probably found it. Yo, that he's cold.
So now,
That's a
boom,
cool
the hunt
old
is
man.
officially on.
That's
and
actual
pretty
Gold
quickly,
Roger,
word
bro.
of this treasure hunt starts to get around, and people are like, "Yo, there's $2 million
Real
treasure
life
buried
Gold
somewhere
Roger,
in the
bro.
Rocky Mountains," and they all start looking for it. Tens of thousands of people start looking for it. They're all like picking up his memoir, they're combing through it, looking for clues, they're analyzing the hell out of that poem that he wrote, and eventually some of them even use like some kind of software to analyze Forrest's facial expression in TV interviews to maybe
Why?
get some hints from that. And
That's
over the
crazy.
years, the amount of people who join this treasure hunt grows and grows. Supposedly, somewhere around 300,000 people are actively involved in this. But still, no one has even come close to finding it. And here's the thing though, searching in remote areas of the mountains actually
low-key
gets
split it
really
and they all get,
dangerous
like,
for some people.
couple dollars.
One person ends up falling off a 500-foot cliff, another person drowns while in a raft looking for this treasure. In fact, at least 5 people unfortunately die from being involved in this. It gets so bad that New Mexico police publicly call for Forrest to call off the treasure hunt because it's putting lives at risk. But of course, Forrest is
He
like,
said no.
nah. Because this
He said, "You want my treasure? You can have it."
is exactly what he wanted. He wanted people to get out and explore. But even still, at this point, no one is even getting close
He's
to
like, "It's only
finding
5."
this $2 million treasure. Until something kind of crazy happens. One day in 2018, this guy is scrolling on Twitter. His name is Jack. Jack, he's just a regular chill dude. He's around
Jack
30
Daniel?
years old. Jack's scrolling through Twitter one day and he stumbles across people talking about Forrest's treasure hunt. And he sees that this hunt has been going on for like 8 years at this point, yet
Dang.
no one has located the treasure.
Wait, y'all been out at this for 8 years? I should have been out there.
treasure. And he's like, $2 million? I gotta get in on that. Here's the problem though. Jack, he's not an Indiana Jones type. He's actually a former med student. He doesn't know how to treasure hunt. He's never done anything like that before. But he's a pretty smart guy. So he believes he has the ability to figure this out. So he gets to work and he starts reading tons of blogs that other people have posted on the internet. Blogs by people who have been out looking for this treasure. And he can see which locations they've already been searching and like things that they've already tried, stuff like that. Then he gets a copy of Forrest's memoir, and he reads it over and over and over again. And he watches every single interview that Forrest has ever done, every word Forrest has ever said, everything Forrest has ever published, Jack has studied it meticulously. And soon he starts to notice that Forrest, he's not all that sophisticated of a guy. He's actually not embedding hidden secret meanings and double entendres in his writing. He's way more simple than that. And all the other treasure hunters out there are probably way overthinking it. Then he decides to go solo. Once he actually goes to the mountains and starts hunting, he doesn't engage with anyone else who's also looking for the treasure. He doesn't join their search parties or their social groups. He even starts avoiding the blogs because he doesn't want to get caught up in what a big group might think. And so Jack searches, and he searches, and he searches. And, this isn't easy for the guy. Like, it takes up a good chunk of his time. Every time he goes out into the wilderness to look, he's absolutely exhausted, and he gets covered in scratches and bites. Some days he'll run out of water and have to quit. Some days he'll be searching in the woods, and he'll just stop and sit down in the middle of nowhere.
So are people just, like, digging up stuff everywhere? Like, they're just like, oh, this is the spot. They just start digging it up? How do you know? Like, yo, that is kind of crazy. I'm not gonna lie. I can see how it goes on for 8 years. Because, like, if you think you have a spot, you're like, oh, I know where it is for sure. And then you go there and then you dig. You don't know how deep he buried that junk. You don't know if he buried it, like, a couple feet over from you. You just hit a spot. You start digging. You're just like, you don't know if it's there or not. You're just digging. So it's kind of difficult to gauge. He didn't say how far down it is. Excuse me. Because you could be digging for a grip. Like, he could have buried that junk like 9 feet under. And you could have, like, scamped over it, been like, oh, I dug a little bit. It's not here.
And start crying out of sheer frustration. And he loses hope all the time. He's like thinking to himself, what if I can't ever find this treasure? What if 50 years go by and I'm still searching for this stupid treasure chest?
You gotta enjoy them.
Jack doesn't want to give up quite yet. He keeps going. And 2 years go by. And Jack is 32 now. And he's still out there looking for this thing. And then, one day, he finally has kind of a breakthrough. Using his big brain, he had already figured out the general location of where the treasure might be, Yellowstone National Park in Wyoming. But now he thinks he knows the exact spot. This is it! He says, this is the spot where Forrest wanted to die. And so, after 25 days of looking for the treasure in that specific location, Jack finally finds it. And then he drives from Wyoming all the way down to Mexico where Forrest lives, and he lets Forrest know that he found the chest. And Forrest is all happy, and so Forrest goes and he announces publicly that the chest has been found, and other people who had been looking for the treasure chest get super pissed. And they accuse Forrest of never really hiding the treasure in the first place, and this is an inside job, and they claim that no one really found the treasure. Forrest just wanted to end the hunt. And then, of course, people start filing lawsuits against him. He also, at one point, this poor guy is getting stalkers. He starts getting death threats. People were starting to break into his home thinking that he had the treasure hidden there. It is wild.
Degenerates,
but
bro.
anyway,
Y'all
a
didn't
few
find
months
that treasure,
after
bro.
the
Stop
treasure
trying
is
to up the
found,
stick now.
Forrest ends up passing away at 90 years old. Here is a picture of him with some of the treasure. And a few years after that, Jack actually auctions off the contents of the chest for $1.3 million.
Wait, what?
And he auctions off the contents of some of the treasure. And a few years after that, Jack actually auctions off the contents of the chest for $1.3 million.
I thought it was worth $2 million.
And here's what the treasure box looked like in real life. It's not really looking all that special, is it?
It's about what's inside. It's not about the... You can't judge a book by its cover, but you can't judge a treasure by its box, by its chest, bro. You can't... I'm gonna coin that phrase if that hasn't been coined already, because you can't judge a book by its cover. That's already been done. Let me look this up. You can't judge a treasure by its chest. Oh, wait. Oh, wait. Oh, wait. I don't think it's coined yet. Oh, wait. Hey, yo, I don't think it's coined yet. You know what's funny? That would also unironically work as a good pickup line if you like, if a girl you like has like small breasts, right? And you're like, that's not a problem for me. She's like, really? It's not? Hey, you can't judge a treasure by its chest. That's bars. That's bars. I'm not gonna lie. That's bars. But hey, with that being said, hold on. Should we wrap the video here? Or can we do another one? I think we can do another one actually. This one's only 14 minutes, so let's find another one, and then we'll wrap it. But that's straight bars, man. You can't tell me otherwise. Ray William Johnson, another one, another one. Cocaine Bear is crazy. But let's see what we got here. Let's find out. 1, 2, 3. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, which one? I think we were down here when I was looking. So we got the maple syrup one, and we got something else. I could just end it here, though. I'm not gonna lie, bro. We saw this, the Buddhist monk when we recorded that. Hijacked commercial airplane. What? That seems dumb. Crashed his own plane. No, we're not gonna do that. Let's find another. If we can find another silly one, that would be ideal. Not the Nickelodeon killer. Amy Bradley. Cocaine Bear. Road Rage. Got paid. Well, police officer scammed $600K for what? Alright, let's watch this one. Let's watch it. Do we have any more vegetable juice? We do. The V8. You could have had a V8 today, but y'all tripping, man. You could have gotten your servings of vegetables. But you're tripping, bro. Make sure you eat your broccoli, man. You know what I'm saying? Eat that broccoli.
So this police officer...
Yeah, that broccoli. Okay. Let's go ahead and start this. If we can. Hello? Hello? Can we go full screen? Please? There we go. There's one. Can we get it?
They're allegedly scammed the city out of $600,000. Now,
Oh,
the
it's the
officer's
city.
name is Officer Brown. And Officer Brown is 36 years old during this time, living in California, and she actually works as the police department's homeless liaison. So she works with a lot of the unhoused population.
Homeless liaison.
So that's cool. But
Oh,
one
was
day
she, like,
in 2022, her
scamming,
life
saying she was
changes.
gonna give the money to
because
homeless
she's
people
on
and
duty,
didn't?
working her beat or whatever, and she's trying to arrest this suspect. But as she's trying to do that, this guy starts fighting with her, and I don't exactly know what happens because the information isn't out there, but
Elden
somehow,
Ring t-shirt.
kapow, she gets hit in the forehead. And immediately after that, she's not feeling so great. So she goes to her watch commander, and she's like, I have a headache, and I'm feeling super dizzy. Then she goes to the emergency room to
Oh,
get
is it
checked
medical
out.
bills?
Once she gets checked out, the doctor is like, this looks pretty minor. You'll be fine. And the doctor
Oh, did
clears
she do a
Officer
lawsuit?
Brown to go back to work. Here's the deal, though.
She did a lawsuit?
Officer Brown apparently doesn't really want to work anymore, which is relatable. But allegedly, she was hoping the doctor might think her head injury is worse than it actually is, and that she might be able to get some paid time off of work. I guess one of her real passions is coaching youth soccer, and there's an American Youth Soccer
Kick
Organization conference in San Diego coming up in a few days, which she would love to be able to get off work so that she can go to this. And so she decides to
Why doesn't
call
she
in
just quit
sick
and do that?
because of her head injury, even
She not
though
get
the
paid?
doctor cleared her for work. And so she calls in sick, and it works. And because her injury happened while she was on the job, she still gets to collect her
Workers' comp.
paycheck, which is a pretty sweet deal. And so she goes to this youth soccer coaching conference in San Diego, and she has a great time, and
So
no one
far,
at work
it's
suspects
okay,
a
I
thing.
guess.
So now she's thinking, damn, this is pretty dope. I didn't have to go to work, but I still got paid. And she wants to keep this scheme going. Allegedly. This
Here we go.
is all alleged, by the way.
Here we go,
And so
allegedly.
Officer Brown asks this guy to help her stepdad, who we'll just call Stepdad. And Stepdad is an attorney who specializes in workers' comp claims. Stepdad is also apparently a pretty shady dude. And
Oh,
so
he's
Officer
shady?
Brown goes to Stepdad and he starts helping her out with this. And because of his line of work, he knows exactly what she'll need to do in order to get her claim approved. And I guess together they come up with a plan for her to keep getting paid without having to go to work. And first,
I'm
she
not
has
mad
to
at it,
keep
but, like,
complaining about the symptoms
wrong
that she doesn't actually
situation to
have,
do
but
that in.
would have if her head injury were bad enough to need to be put on disability. And so she complains that she's dizzy, she complains that she has trouble processing words and processing thoughts, she complains that she can't read. Bitch, go to school. Then, to really sell the whole thing,
said, "You have a
claims that
what?"
she can't read. Bitch, go to school. Then, to really sell the whole thing, she goes back to see a doctor. Now, I don't know if Officer Brown is just a really good actress or if this doctor just sucks, but Doc ends up diagnosing her with severe concussion syndrome, which
Oh, I
she
thought he was about to
allegedly
say
doesn't
CTE.
have. Once she gets this diagnosis, she's placed on a type of workers' comp called total temporary disability. And because her total temporary disability is due to a work injury, this allows Officer Brown to not work at all while still collecting her full police salary for an entire year. Not
not
only
bad.
that, but the salary
what?
is tax-free, and the insurance company has to pay all her medical expenses.
Like, I'm gonna be for real. I'm gonna be so for real. I'm not mad at it. Because if you take into account all the unpaid insurance claims that these insurance companies have, and they'd be trying not to pay people, even people that deserve it. And, like, she's out there, she's a police officer. She's putting her life on the line for people. Like, she's trying to help the homeless community. Look, man, a year off, I'm not mad at it. I can't be mad at it. I understand. I totally get it.
Oh, but it gets even worser. Once that year is up, if she continues to fake her disability, she can collect 2/3 of her salary for another year. So she can basically pull this scam for 2 years if she keeps going. So, she keeps going. She keeps on faking it. She keeps telling her bosses that she has headaches and dizziness and sensitivity to light
Yapping,
and
bro.
noise, and that she can't even look at a computer screen because she's so sensitive, and that she's not able to process words or thoughts. But in reality, she's actually out here living it
Fully
up.
functional.
Like, she starts taking online classes to get a master's degree. She signs up to participate in some 5K races, and she starts
She's
training
living
for
good.
them. She often goes golfing. or
Yo,
to see
she's like,
base-
imagine if I get to live my life for a little while. I'm not mad at it. Go, girl. Hey, she didn't really hurt nobody for real. I'm not mad at it. She just wanted to live a little. I can't be mad at that.
ball games. She goes on 2 different ski trips. She goes
Hey,
to more
she
of those
works
youth
hard, man.
soccer
She
coach conferences that
Literally
she
out here,
loves so
like
much.
I said, police officer literally out here put her life on the line, trying to do better for the city, man. Trying to clean up the city, man. Fighting homeless niggas. Hey, take your year off, man. I'm not mad at it. I ain't mad.
She even takes a vacation to Disneyland because why
Hey.
not? Which, by the way, Disneyland is not that bad, but if you're claiming that you have headaches and dizziness and sensitivity to light and noise,
On
and
a
that you
roller
can't even
coaster.
look at a
It's
computer
crazy.
screen, then you're probably too sick to be going
To
to
be going
fucking
on a roller
Disneyland.
coaster is crazy, yeah.
Anyway,
You might even
clearly
get a
Officer
concussion
Brown's
from one
scheme
of the
is
roller
working,
coasters.
and it's working well. She's collecting all
But
this
hey,
money in disability while doing
none of my
whatever the
business.
hell
I'm not
she
mad at
wants,
this.
and she seems to be having a great
I'm not
time.
gonna
It's
judge
almost
her.
like she's never gonna get caught. Until about a year goes by, and it's now 2023, and her scam is still going. And this is when Officer Brown decides she wants to take a little trip to Stagecoach,
Coachella?
which is like this big
Stagecoach?
country music festival in California.
Okay.
Here's the thing about this music festival, though.
What's about it?
It's in the desert, so it's hot. It's like 100 degrees
Mm-hmm.
there, and the music is loud, and the lights are bright, and like 75,000 people are supposed to attend. So like it's
She's
gonna be
basically trying to
crowded.
be in her 20s
Someone
again, bro.
suffering from a severe concussion would have a lot of trouble in this environment. However, since Officer Brown is allegedly just faking it, she's gonna be fine. And so she buys a ticket and heads out to the festival. And there, she's having a great time. She's drinking and she's dancing and partying with the crowd. But what she doesn't know is that also in that crowd, there are a few
doctor.
people who know her personally. And they know that she's supposed to not be working and on disability. And I guess those people are like, isn't she supposed to have a head injury? And at least one of them goes and rats her out at her work and
snitch.
tells her department that they saw her at Stagecoach partying and dancing.
Snitch.
Now, I don't know if her bosses think
Bruh,
that she's
he's
totally
nah,
cured
he's a
or
hater, bruh. He's a
But-
hater.
but-
He's a hater. He's like, she's been off for a year and she's getting paid and I'm out here working? Hell no. Nah, he's a hater.
A few days later, they call Officer Brown to a virtual meeting on Zoom
Oh, no.
because
Did they
they
arrest
want to
her, though?
discuss
I hope they
potential
didn't arrest
duties
her.
she could now perform as a police officer since she's apparently feeling so much better.
Wait,
and
what happened?
could now perform a meeting on Zoom because they want to discuss potential duties she could now perform as a
Oh, okay.
police officer since she's apparently feeling so much better.
Mm-hmm.
And stepdad is there with her, and he's an attorney, so he's like speaking on her behalf in the meeting. And during this meeting,
Mm-hmm.
Officer Brown is laying it on thick. On her side of the Zoom, she's
Bro,
sitting
straight
in a
back.
dark room and not looking at the computer screen because
Her
she
acting
claims
career's about
that
to
the
take
bright
off
lights
after
from the
this.
screen would hurt her eyes. And stepdad is there and he's like defending her like, work? She still can't do any work. This poor woman can't even take phone calls because she can't process words or thoughts.
Bruh.
And so now her work has to start investigating her because, you know, she's saying that she can't work, but other people are saying they saw her at Stagecoach partying.
Bruh.
And 2 years later, I guess they've investigated and they now have enough evidence. And so, bam, they arrest her. And I don't have a mugshot, but here's what she looks like in real life.
They said
also, bam, they arrest stepdad too. And by the way, they claim that Officer Brown stole more than $600,000 in wages and healthcare costs from the city. $600,000 in free money. And so Officer Brown gets charged with a bunch of felonies for this scheme, and she faces a maximum prison sentence of 22 years, while
Meanwhile, whole time, by the way, people scamming for millions getting off in 2 years or less. Whole time. Actual, like, hardworking woman protecting the city, right? Wants to take a year or two off, right? Whole time, we got entire scammers getting less than a year, less than 2.
stepdad is also charged and he faces up to 8 years in prison. However, I
Ridiculous
just want to be clear
sentences.
that this is all alleged. This is what they're being
Alleged.
accused of, not necessarily what
Okay.
they've done because, you know,
Okay.
they haven't been convicted.
Because it's all alleged. Okay. But still, meanwhile, whole time, bro. But that's going to be the video. I hope y'all liked it. Let me know what y'all thought down in the comments below. Y'all think that's justified? Y'all think she was bugging? I'm going to leave a comment. You already know what I'm saying. That'll be the video. Hey, I think personally she just wanted a year or two off. Fine. Like, I think she deserved it. Honestly, I'm going to be for real. I'm going to be so for real, man. She was doing some good work out here. She's doing well for the city. Helping to clean up the city. But the city don't pay her all that well. I don't know what a police officer's salary. Let's see. Westminster police officer salary. I don't know how far along she was, but maybe we can get some sort of estimate. Let's see, right? Let's see how much she was making, right? Let's do a little pocket watching, shall we? Salary for homeless clean up, I guess. Homeless liaison officers. I think that's one. 80 annually. Certified. Oh, that's a trainee. Okay. Nah, this was 2026. I don't know when that happened, but they said she took. So she's probably making like. Probably making 100K or something. Maybe I would say probably around there. If I had to guess, that's like an average. So if you say 120 between 80 and 120, center point's like 100K. So she was actually doing pretty well for herself. I don't know, but I don't know. I wouldn't. This is not the one that I'm putting someone 22 years behind for. So yeah, there are worse. There are worse cops. There are worse cop crimes than this. I feel like, especially like cops that are actually out here committing crimes, stealing from actual people. Like stealing from the city is not really a crime for real. I mean, yes, it's a crime, but it's like, yo, that money's gonna get refunded for free by like the oligarchical structures that are supporting it. So it has zero consequence fundamentally, but well, virtually zero consequence. But yeah, man, I don't know. I don't agree with it. I don't think you should do it. But is this the crime that I'm putting someone for 22 years behind? Hell no. Especially not when people are doing way crazier stuff. But that's just my take. Go ahead and like the video if you liked it. Go ahead and subscribe if you want to see more. And I'll catch you in the next one, okay? Bye.